for all of you who don't know me, my name is Nadim Azar. I'm the founder and operator of PCSN, PC.Solutions.Net. We've been in business for over 20 years now, actually over 25 years now. But we've been doing a lot of work in the technology space. And right now, what we've been getting a lot of feedback on is that people want to know more about how AI is working in business. And I know there's a lot of people in a variety of different industries where they're exploring some AI workloads. Today, we are actually going to go through creating an actual workflow, and we picked something really easy to do. It shouldn't take us too long, but we'll see how it goes. Depends on all the questions we get. If you have any questions, hit the Q&A and ask the questions. You can also chat. We're going to keep everybody else on mute. So that was me. And then we also have here Jason. Everybody knows now that Jason is in Dallas. He commandeered an IT room, and hopefully he doesn't get bothered in that space. Jason is a cybersecurity professional, and his big task today is going to be rein me back in if I get out of control. So he'll pull me back. And also, he will have probably some good questions around security. And that's what happens a lot of times, us more technical people, IT people, we get carried away and we want to do everything in the world. But then the security guys come in and say, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, you want to do this, but did you think about this? And that's what Jason's going to do. And along with Jason, we have Joshua here, and Joshua is going to they're both going to tag team me, I guess. I think that's the plan today. So both of them are in the security space, and we're gonna try to keep it quick and short and go through some workflows. And if you guys have any questions around anything AI related or security related, between the three of us, we should be able to answer pretty much all the questions. So with that, we will get started, and we will make a recording available. I think a question came up earlier, is recording going to be available? We will make it available. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out. We'll have some contact info towards the end as well. So that way you can reach out to us. So everybody good? Everybody feeling pumped? All right.
Yes, sir.
Good. So today we are going to talk about creating a workflow, and the easy workflow that I picked is we are going to create a marketing guru, right? So think of it like a virtual employee. You can go ask this employee, hey, create me a LinkedIn post that promotes my business to SMBs with 20 users, let's say. And this AI will create this post, and you can take it, paste it into LinkedIn, and it's already going to know what our industry is, what we do, what our specialty is, and is going to optimize that post for SEO. So before we actually go into creating this workflow, let me show you what something like this looks like. So I'm going to share my screen, and this is going to be live, by the way, guys. So if something doesn't work right because of workload or something, it's not my fault. It's going to be ChatGPT's fault, right? But we'll get into this, and hopefully everybody can see my screen. So right now I'm gonna go to. I have a few virtual people here, and I'm going to choose Becca Lawson. So Becca Lawson is in the legal space, right? Legal industry guru. So I'm going to say, hopefully everybody can read that small text down there. Okay, so create a post of about 1,000 words for LinkedIn with CTA of joining our webinar next month on the 26th. I don't know what the subject of that webinar is going to be, so I'm just going to leave it at that, and we're going to see what it does. Now, this guru already knows a lot about us. It's already been trained about us. It already knows what we are going for. It knows about legal industry. It knows what the pain points for legal industry is. So if you're in the legal space, it should be pretty spot on. So here we go. And there it is. So now you will notice a couple of things. So we have so this is the ghostwriter that wrote this for us, and it's talking to our avatar, which we've already trained the system on. So the system knows who our target is to that we're going to talk to, right? And it already created a bunch of things here. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the headline, if in case you can't read it, is too small, is what if IT stress didn't keep you up at night? Well, that's interesting. Okay, so I want to read the whole thing now, but I'll read that later. I won't go into all of that. So the thing is that this system already knows a lot about IT. It like I didn't tell it, hey, create it specifically for IT. It already knows. It already knows what we do. It already knows what the problems in the legal space are. And it gave me an example here of are you fielding one of these questions like is the printer down again? Which in the legal space that's a big deal. You can't print contracts, right? Um, so a lot of this stuff, this is what we're going to create. Now, look here, if we go farther down, it talks very specifically about Houston. So it knows we are in Houston, and it knows we're in the legal space, and it knows that the market is changing and shifting quite fast. So it knows all these things. So the system already knows, and this system works so well. I'll give you a little bit of an internal story. So when we first started doing this, people on our marketing team, they used to come to me, hey, Nadeem, I wrote this. What do you think? Is it good? Is it, and the first time when we rolled out one of these virtual employees, and I had the marketing guys send it to the virtual employee, and when the result came back, they sent it to me. A few times we tested it, and I was like, I couldn't have done a better job at this. It was so good, spot on. It had all the SEO keywords in there, and I was like, I couldn't do anything better than this. So what we did is very quickly we standardized on using these virtual employees for our marketing team. So now when a marketing team has a question, whether they want to craft an email or they want to do a LinkedIn post or whatever it is, they go to this virtual employee as opposed to coming to me. Saved me a ton of time. And you're probably thinking, hey, how good is this? So look down here. It says, hey, if you are a 20 to 50 person boutique with lean teams and loyal clients, hey, we can help you because, hackers, they know your guard might be down because you are a small business. So it's very targeted, right? And we don't have to train this system over and over. Once it's trained, it's done. It will create these kind of articles for you. And looky here, what does Becca deserve? It talks, specific pointers. MS is specifically about MSP. They understand things like encryption protocols for sensitive data. Hey, it's the legal space, right? Data, there is a lot of sensitive data. Compliance frameworks, and I know a lot of legal firms right now, they're kind of scrambling to get into compliance and get compliant because their customers are demanding that, right? So it knows about all of this. So this is stuff that's in my head usually. Now it's in a system where anybody can access this on the fly without having to bother me. And talk specifically about case management system because the legal space, they have case management system. So all of this. So this is what we're going to create is something that will, you ask it a few, give it a couple of sentences, and will spit all this out, and you can simply copy and paste it into LinkedIn. And it works so well that at this point, I'm so confident I can close my eyes, copy and paste it in LinkedIn and walk away. And we have never got a situation where, hey, this is not right. That's what a finely tuned AI system does for you. Now, this is just an example. I know some of you are thinking, well, how does that apply to me? I'm not in marketing. I don't do marketing. How's it? So this is just an example, just because we can quickly create a system like this. A lot of customers that we have, we are actually going in and doing higher end workflows. Like this one company, they collect data from a lot of different entities around the world, and we actually scraped this data bring it into a central database, and then the AI system run analysis on it for their analysts. And this is amazing because in the past, you would have to hire a few full-time programmers to do this, because these websites where you need to get the data, they might change, and they change, fairly frequently. And every time it changes, something breaks, so somebody's got to fix it on the fly. It's a lot of work. Well, all this is now automated. So those are some of the systems, the deeper end, the higher end systems that involve a lot more tech. But this is something that you can create on your own, and that's what we're going to do today, is create one of the assistants. Now, there are a few requirements, right? One of the requirements for this is that you have to have a paid ChatGPT plan. So ChatGPT is not that expensive. It's $20 per month. So you can sign up, if you have availability of a trial, you can sign up for a trial, or, pay the $20, and it's a month to month, or you can cancel it next month to try it out. Now, one of the things that I want to say is, once you create a system like this and you create a custom GPT, this is, by the way, a custom GPT, you can then share this custom GPT with your entire team. Once you do that, now your team members, they don't have to come to you for that work. They can just go to this custom GPT for that work, right? So you've just made yourself some extra time to do other things. All right. So everybody with me so far? It's easy. And it's not going to take us too long. And so far, I haven't even done anything. So I'm thinking that the security guys are not going to bother me just yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, but yeah, I see,
the one tip I would show them, Nadeem, is even with the paid account, if you are a little bit security conscious and you don't want all the things that you're training, your account on, you need to turn off the public sharing to improve the model setting inside your profile.
Yeah, and you can do this within your profile. That's a good point. And you even after you create, so even if your public sharing is disabled, after you create a custom GPT, there is an option where you can share that custom GPT publicly. You don't want to share it publicly, right? You only want to share with specific people in your organization, or even if it's an external person, maybe you outsource a certain function, you want to share it with them. Share it with only that person. Don't share it publicly. I know it's easy to share it publicly, but then you open up a can of worms that might be hard to put back into the can. So that's what we're going to create. So let's get into it. I'm gonna let's actually go to a new chat. So here's what I'm going to do. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a custom GPT, and it's going to be for professional services industry in Houston, Texas. So keep this in mind. This is going to be a production workload that I'm going to create right now that we are going to use probably for the foreseeable future for some of my marketing guys. So this is an actual workload that we are going to end up using. We might tweak it here and there, but the bulk of it is gonna stay the way it is. So I've got some text typed in already. I'm just going to copy paste it just so that it's fast. So all I'm saying here is, please create for me a detailed business profile on the professional services industry in Houston, Texas, in the context of what they want or need to work with a managed services provider, also known as outsourced IT services. That's what we do. It's about us. And this is what we are doing, is getting ready to create that avatar for us. So I'm gonna put that in there and have it come back. Right, so we've got an output there, and we are going to, that's all good. I'm going to copy all this once it does this, and then I'm going to paste it into a Word document. And we are going to use these Word documents. We're going to end up with about 3 Word documents, and we're going to use these Word documents later on. That's how the customization of everything is going to work. So, and you'll notice, like, it's giving me, I mean, if I had to type all of this in, I mean, look at that. Industry focus, size and scale. I mean, it has all this information already. Vendor overload. I mean, it's got a lot of stuff. So I'm just going to jump down all the way. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to run Word, and we will save this in Word. And I'm just going to create a blank document. You probably can't see my screen, Word screen, because it's not shared, but I'm just pasting it into Word, calling it something that I know I will remember. And this is going to be prof services, and we will stick it into my local drive here. And I'm just going to stick it in my downloads. And I'm going to call it actually Prof Services 1 because this is the first document. And then we're going to have additional documents as well. All right, so that one is done. So everybody's with me so far? Easy stuff. Just copy that, paste it into Word, and then we're going to go to the next one. So next, what we're going to do is we are going to open a GPT called Brand Avatar Builder. Now, I have a URL for it because, you know, this is what I do. I save the URL. It's easy to get to, but I'm not going to use my URL. I am going to actually search for it just so that you can search for it just like me, right? So that's what we're going to do. So if we come over here and we go into GPTs, and on the left, I just clicked on GPT. And by the way, if you don't see the sidebar, it might be like that. Just click the little icon here to open up the sidebar, go to GPTs. And then in the GPT builder, we are going to search for brand avatar builder. So let's just type that in. And it should find Perry Belcher. That's who I want. So, and Perry Belcher actually created this brand avatar builder. So we're going to use that. And it's going to load up, and I'm going to say, yep, that's what I want. Go ahead and start. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to upload the file that I created into this guy. So I'm going to click the little plus, and I'm going to say add photos and files. That's the file I saved. And then I'm going to ask it a specific, I'm going to give it a specific prompt, and that is, based on the doc, give me the perfect avatar for a buyer of MSP services. So we are an MSP a service provider, so we're going to use that. And that's the document that I saved earlier. Simple stuff. So here we go. All right. A lot of good stuff here. And the idea here is that we need to connect to this avatar at an emotional level. So we have to get very, and marketing people out there will know what I mean. Like you have to connect to people at an emotional level before they will buy anything from you, right? So, and that's what we want to do is we want to get that emotion just right, tuned just right. So now that we have this response, I'm going to put in, basically, I'm going to say, you know, hey, take this data, create an actual avatar of a fictitious person who would be the perfect candidate for me to write to, right? I need to know who I'm writing for. So basically, it's not me who's going to write, it's the AI that's going to write, but the AI needs to know who it's writing for. So that's what we're trying to do here. So put that in there. And it gives me some stuff here, gives me even the daily routine of that avatar. So this is stuff about that avatar is creating. Oh, it's got the age. Avatar is about 47 years. Dana Reynolds is going to be her name. So now we know it's a her. Um, Daily routine, all that. So that's all good. But I'm going to give it something more. Now, remember, we want to connect at an emotional level. So now we're just telling it, hey, go deeper, dig a little deeper. What you said is good. We got a lot of information, but we want more depth here. So all I'm doing here is that's all great, but now can you give me more detailed emotional information about this avatar that would allow my writers to better connect with her on an emotional level? And that's what we want, is that connection. So see what it has. Oh, wow. Yeah, sometimes it even amazes me. And I don't know if you guys can read this, but there is a lot of, like the core identity, the emotional drivers of the person, the fears of the person, the pain points of the person, the aspirations, the language that resonates with this avatar. This is some powerful stuff, right? So that's all good. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to save this into another file. So what I want to do is we have two pieces here. One is the not so emotional piece, which is up here, and then there is the more emotional piece. I'm going to save both of them. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back into my Word, and I'm going to paste that in there, and I'll call this one document number 2. And then I'm going to create another one with the more emotional stuff, which we will call document number 3. I said it was going to be easy. It is going to be easy. Professional, if I can spell, 2, right? And then if we scroll down now, the deeper emotional stuff, we're going to save it as professional services 3. Okay, saved it in there. And this one is going to be, in the old days, Word used to be so easy. When you hit save, it used to go to a specific folder. Now it wants to go to OneDrive and you have to redirect it and all this jazz. Professional Services 3. Okay. So we've got 3 documents saved. And so now I am going to open up another GPT. And this is, by the way, this is Perry Belcher's work. It's not my work. These GPTs are, he's an expert at this, and he created these GPTs. So I'm going to open up something called Make a Guru. Now I have the URL, but like I said, I'm not going to use the URL because I like life to be difficult. No, I'm just doing it so you guys will know what I mean. So I'm going to go back into GPTs, and I am going to search for Make a Guru, and it's going to give me some hits. Make a Guru. There should be Perry Belcher, if I can read. Make a Guru, Perry. Let me see if it'll find that. No. I'm wondering if it's called something else. Am I missing it? Okay, so what we're going to do is, so the URL is this. Let me see what the name of it is. Guru, Perry Belcher Guru Creation. Okay, so my mistake. Should find that. Oh, there it is. Guru Create, Perry Belcher Guru. Okay, it is called Perry Belcher Guru Creation. Okay, so we're going to click on that and we're going to start a chat. Okay, so we're going to upload a couple of things here. We're going to upload the industry profile first, and we're going to do something fancy. So we're going to try it. What's the worst that can happen, right? So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to upload my first file that I created, and that is number one, which is the industry profile. And then I'm going to say, based on this information, give me a famous person who would be relatable to the market and the avatar. So the reason I'm going to do this is so that we can kind of relate to that person more, right? So it's at a more personal level. So let's see what happens. Okay, industry profile in Houston, Texas. Relatable person is Simon Sinek. Anybody know Simon?
Oh yeah, the golden triangle or the golden
So
circle. Excuse me.
awesome. So now we have Simon is going to be the famous person, and we're gonna do a couple of things. And I'm going to copy the prompt here, and I'll copy it in the chat. And by the way, I'll send you guys the prompts. So now I'm telling it, please create me a ghostwriter guru who will be able to connect on a deep emotional level with the avatar's PDF name, which is going to be, you remember the name here. Let me look in my document. I forgot the name already.
Is it Dana Reynolds?
Dana. Ah, yes.
That's why I'm here.
That's why you're okay. And the market is professional services industry in Houston, Texas. Also added here. Now we can either reference the actual document or we can use just the name because GPT is smart enough to figure out and dig into that document, right? The guru will be writing blog posts, newsletters, articles, voice scripts, blah, blah, blah. At the deepest emotional level, they should be friendly, warm, communicative. At a fifth grade reading level, all communication should be first person and follow the style of, and we have Simon. All right. So, every time we create one of these, we always take an extra step, right? We always try to make it better. So hopefully this works, but I'm doing a couple of extra things here, but we're gonna see how it goes. Maybe it'll work better than the others, and then I'll have to recreate all of my other GPTs as well, but we'll see. All right, so here we go. Okay, so the guru's name is going to be Grace Hollowell, 44. I got height, I got weight, birth date, birthplace. Okay. All right, so one of the things I'm going to do here, so this is all good. I want to remember the name. Okay, Grace Hollowell. Wow. Military service, none, but her father shaped her structural, blah, blah, blah. Best friends. Okay, so a lot of information here. So one of the things that I want to do before I go further is I'm going to upload both of my files, and I'm going to give it the same prompt again and see if it gives me something different. So the file number 2 and 3, which we haven't used before, I'm going to upload those, and I am going to scroll up and use the same avatar here. Yeah. It's actually this one right here. Let me see. So that, I'm just trying to see if I can tweak this even a little more. The education, the upbringing, childhood environment, marital status. I think I've got pretty much everything. Ah, interesting one. How problem gets worse. As more content becomes AI generated, she knows human warmth will be the rarest currency, but also the most valuable. And by the way, the irony of it is this is AI typing this up. So, okay, I think this is pretty good. Do we need any adjustments? What I'm going to do is I'm going to say do the attached documents require any update or change in the profile for I forgot the name, Holloway, something Holloway, right? Grace Hollowell. Okay, and let's see what it comes back with. Oh, okay, so good thing I tried this because it says, hey, these documents deepen the emotional and psychological understanding of the person, of Dana Reynolds, which is our person, and confirm that Grace Hollowell's profile is already highly aligned, but a few enhancements can make more tailored to Dana's world. All right. Okay, good. So now that we've got that, um, now what we're going to do is we are going to create I'm gonna save this. Let me first get the core, and I need to save this because we're gonna use we're like every iteration we're saving the output from the previous uh, AI trained model, and then we're feeding it into the next model. So we're kind of tuning it over and over. And I want to capture this connection that I have here into a Word document. And I'm just going to call it prof services. This is going to be 4. So so we're going to feed this into our custom GPT, and then we are going to build something amazing here. So okay, I just used the file name that it not going to be 4. Okay, so this is good. And all right. So now that we have got that, let's go down and create a GPT. And I'm going to copy some text I have already written down for professional services. And now this is the trick. This is what brings it all together. So I'm going to go into GPTs. You see my GPTs here, and I see create up on the top right. Now, if you don't have a paid version of ChatGPT, you'll probably not see these options here. And this is what really is the glue that holds everything together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create, and I'm going to create a custom GPT of our own that then once I test it out, I'm going to give it to my marketing team and say, hey, when you're interfacing with professional services organizations, throw your content in this and see what it does to it, right? So I'm going to put some instructions here, and it is, this GPT is a reporter and will write articles, blog posts, blah, 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 for my business that sells outsourced IT services to professional services companies in Houston. Please follow the training below to understand the market, the avatar, and the brand voice. The content should be written for in the voice of, this is going to be Simon, the ghostwriter guru, right? I don't need anything in conversation starters. I'm going to name this GPT. This is going to be, what was that? Hollowell?
Sarah, I think.
Sarah. Was it Sarah?
Sarah Holland or something similar.
Yeah, something Hollowell. Anyway, I forgot, but doesn't matter. So we'll just call it. It might be in one of our Word documents, right? Let's see here. Just take a quick look. Grace Hollowell. It is in the document. Okay. Grace Hollowell. And this is going to be Prof Services Guru, right? Description, I don't care about that. I've got my instructions here. Now, we don't want to forget this part. We're going to upload those files that we saved earlier. And we have all of these files. We have 4 files. The last one is the deeper emotional level. And we're going to upload all of them here. And if everything goes well, when we hit create, it should do the magic. Now, hopefully, ChatGPT is not under a lot of load and it won't do anything that it's not supposed to do. So here goes. And so this is what we were talking about earlier. You can share it on the store. You don't want to do that. You can share it with anyone with a link. You probably don't want to do that either, because anybody who has a link, they'll be able to access it. So you want to do only me, right? So that's what I want to do. So I'm going to hit save. And if you want to share it with specific people, you can always share it later. So here we go. It is working at it. Okay, so it gave me the link. I'm just going to copy that to my clipboard, and I'm going to go and I'm going to say, let's view the GPT. Okay, it created it. GPT published. Now, we need to test it, right? Before we get there, let me just save my URL, which you don't have to save it. You can always get it again. But I'm going to do something. I'm going to say, now what we've done is we've done the actual work. We've created a GPT. Now we just want to test it, make sure it is really going to work. So I'm going to paste this in here. Please explain the instructions I have given you in the most detailed way possible so that I know that you'll be able to do this job to my satisfaction? Simple question, right? Let's see what happens. Thank you for that thoughtful prompt. Okay, so and now this is the place where we can tweak things a little bit if we wanted to, right? So primary objective, you want content, articles, blog posts, blah, 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 video scripts, blah, blah, that sells outsourced IT services, MSP, MSSP solutions, to professional services firms in Houston. And these are the key things that I'm really focused on, right? If it says professional services firms in the, in London, I know something went wrong somewhere, right? Using a deeply empathetic, emotionally resonant, trust-building voice, specifically tailored to speak to a buyer avatar named Dana Reynolds, the managing partner of a, it says law firm, but it's not a law firm, it's professional services, but law firms fall in professional services, right? Written in the voice of Simon, yep, that's our celebrity, delivered through the lens of a custom persona you've built, Grace Hollowell, the ghostwriter guru. The ideal buyer, I've got the profile of the buyer, blah, 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 pain points, industry context, targeted regulated professional firm, blah, blah, consulting. These firms are risk averse, trust-based, and relationship driven. They have urgent needs like compliance support, uptime guarantees, and cyber protection. Good, oh yeah. They want an MSP who gets them, speaks plainly, and acts proactively. Okay, voice and tone, how I will deliver. And by the way, this is going to be our a production workload, so I'm just trying to make sure it's not going to mess anything up for us. But so far it looks good. Tactical integration, relevant CTAs, audits, case studies, strategy calls, leverage proven messaging hooks, and uptime is, oh, good hook here. Your uptime is our courtroom deadline. And then there is, you shouldn't have to speak geek to feel in control. Pretty good. So now it's asking me, if I wanted to create some kind of calendar content already, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, and I'm just going to copy this, and we're actually going to create some content here. So what I'm going to say is, please write a 1,000-word featured article for my readers about what a Houston professional services company should look for in a great IT services provider, right? That sounds reasonable, right? And this is something similar to what we typed in earlier for Becca Lawson, but now we're typing it for professional services. So let's see what it does. So I don't know if you can read this, but sometimes reading these outputs from AI systems, it gives me chills. This is pretty good. The only thing that I would tweak in this is it gravitates towards law firms, it looks like, more, which, yeah, it's a professional services firm, but I'll have to think about that because professional services may be too broad. We might have to be specific, but the article is good. I mean, I can take this and I can post this. And so once this custom GPT is done and it's over here on the left-hand side, Grace Hollowell, I can go into this at any time, put in my prompt, and it will spit out a 1,000-word document or whatever, how many ever words I want in a matter of seconds, right? So this material, like our marketing guys, our marketing teams, they'll take hours to come up with this, right? And it's, the human mind just takes time to do this, and the AI just spits it out like it's nothing. So really, I can go to this GPT and I can start spitting out articles. Like I can generate 10 articles and already pre-schedule it on my LinkedIn ahead of time, right? So, Jason, what do you think about this?
No, I mean, I like it. This has actually been really good. I did something similar for us. I built a custom GPT for our team to be able to put content together for social media and other marketing collateral, based on our USP and value prop and our target market and all of the same things. And we definitely didn't go as in depth as this. So this has actually been very educational. So definitely, number one, appreciate that. I mean, but from a security standpoint, I mean, just sitting in Chat GPT, there's not a ton of security risks. I mean, I've already mentioned, and it's just a personal preference of mine is to turn off the public sharing of the stuff that you build in Chat GPT, because again, my opinion, you put a lot of work in to training your account, especially like you, Nadeem, you're training it on your offering as an MSP, what makes you different. So then that could be leveraged by these custom GPTs to bring it all together. So I feel like on some level, that's your intellectual property that you've
It is,
built,
yeah.
so you want to protect that. And then the way to protect it is to have the paid account. So you have the ability to shut off, public sharing, because if you didn't, there's nothing really to say that your intellectual property in this case and your unique selling points and what makes you different against your competitors is kind of used to train the Chat GPT models. So another MSP that comes along that is not as seasoned as you and they're just running prompts to try to figure out what could make them different, they could actually you know get information that you've put in. Maybe not, it wouldn't say your name specifically, but I don't know. It maybe was more of a preference thing, but that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the so a lot of the work that goes into it behind the scenes, it's I didn't do any of that work. So don't give me any credit for that. It's really Perry Belcher who built the actual system and trained it to create this. So so really the secret sauce is Perry Belcher here. And I've already let the goose out of the bag, so to speak. I mean, just go to those two custom GPTs, that will put out the appropriate content. And this is and I'll send this out in a document so you don't have to remember any of this. You can just follow the steps, and I'll even include links in there. So if something doesn't come up in the search, you can just put the link and go to that place. The only thing it requires is $20 a month, and then you can create as many of these as you want, specific to your industry, your customer's industry, and how you go to searches. Now, one of the things that I want to point out is the way ChatGPT works is very different from a lot of other AI systems. Like I've been testing Grok, Gemini, and a bunch of others. But I won't name any names. But I keep gravitating back towards ChatGPT, and the reason that is so is because one of the more powerful things is that in ChatGPT, when you put something in one chat, that information actually gets shared, becomes available to other chats in that same account. And that is mighty powerful because I'll tell you why. So I was noticing this as Jason was, talking here. I noticed something called virtual CIO. How does it even know about this virtual CIO? Well, I have another chat where we talk about the different roles that our MSP provider provides to customers. A lot of other IT companies, they don't talk about these roles in these terms, right? But I had it in my chat. It knows that, and then it brings it in here. So it's very custom to me. And back to Jason's point, this is what makes it proprietary. This stuff, I don't want to get out. Like the 5 roles of an MSP, I don't want that getting out. Yeah, it's not something that I invented, but that's proprietary to us, right? So that's what Jason was saying is, you want to disable that public access, and all this that you do is going to be your intellectual property. And that brings me to one more thing, and maybe uh, Jason or Joshua have some insight on this. A question that used to come up more frequently, it doesn't as much now, but the question that used to come up was, usually from business owners. And that was, hey, if we use one of these AI systems to create something for us, whose intellectual property is that? Is it the AI systems or is it ours? So Jason and Josh, I'll let you guys chime in on that.
Oh, yes, that is an ongoing topic for discussion. And there actually has been some trademark and copyright infringement lawsuits that have happened in some cases where, and I think for now, the general stance is if you take a default output from an AI platform, then if you just took that as yours and posted it or published it, then that could be deemed potential copyright. If you modify it enough to where it becomes unique, then you actually have the ability to copyright or trademark that. And I know there's some courts that have ruled that you can't actually assign a trademark or a copyright to a non-human. So AI in some court cases cannot own the trademark or the copyright for its output. So it has to be awarded to a human. So it's, yeah, I know that's getting kind of way more on the legal side, but it is an ongoing thing because there are a lot of people that will just use Chat GPT to prompt, output, start saving it. And now you just wrote a book. And then you could put that book out there for sale, on Amazon or wherever else. And I think even in Amazon's KDP, they have a checkbox now where you have to attest to leverage an AI to write your book. So they kind of offset some of that copyright. So
yeah, and that's
be
not
aware of.
optional, that's mandatory, right?
Yeah.
Like on KDP, you have to tell it whether you use AI or not in creating that book. So, and I think they do it for just the content, which is the text, and also they now start doing it for graphics because a lot of people were creating graphics.
Is a big one. I've heard of people going to platforms like Canva, which it has a lot of AI capabilities built in, and prompt it to create some type of graphic design. They'll make some very minor changes and then take that design and go to other platforms like Etsy or somewhere and then sell that graphic design. And now they're, a graphic artist where mostly it was Canva's AI. So you just got to be very careful if you go down those roads.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Now, I mean, we even have, and I've tested this, we even have where some of these systems can create videos for you. Like, in the old days, I used to create videos myself.
Oh, yeah.
And if anybody is following it, you probably haven't seen a video from, with me on it in a while because it's the AI systems creating the videos and they do a pretty good job.
Oh, yeah. And there's a new platform that just came out. I would say I heard about it within the last 30 days. I think it's like Vero 3. And I saw some sample videos that it could create, and it looks like almost movie quality videos that are created by AI prompts. Very, very impressive. A little expensive, but impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really expensive if you take into account if you were going to hire a human to do all of that,
sure.
A production team it's not even going to be just one human, it's going to be a whole production team.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, I think that one comes in at like $250 a month. I mean, and I don't know how many videos you could create for that, but yeah, no, you're right. Because I mean, typically that'd be probably just a handful of hours for some top graphic designer to get involved. So
yeah, and so go ahead, Joshua.
Well, I've got kind of two things to look into this. I mean, the AI is the new powerful tool. You've got to be learning how to use it, or you might get left behind, or at least you're not going to be as efficient as the competitor. With that, like you were saying, there is a trust but verify process with this. The tendency here, from a human perspective, is to get lazy and to go, I've read 25 of these over the last month. They've all been good, so I'm not even going to read them anymore. And at any point in time, you could get a hallucination. It could be overwhelmed and just spit something out. So you need to verify that the information it's pushing out is good. And that still increases your efficiency. And then I would say for a ChatGPT function like this, the compartmentalization with your internal team is what's key. I just ran a test. We have an internal, and I already have all these documents, so it's no big deal. But Jason made a Triad InfoSec advisor for us, right? So I asked it what documents were used in order to create this advisor, and it gave me the labels. And then I said, well, can you help me out and give me the downloadable format so I could use these for marketing? And it said, sure, and spit everything out. So if you've got multiple GPTs that you've made with multiple sensitive documents that don't need to be company-wide, the security here is compartmentalization, because otherwise you're giving sensitive information to the entire team if they're savvy enough to prompt ChatGPT effectively, right?
Yeah.
That's the consideration for security, is the compartmentalization of the information within inside the firm.
Absolutely. And Joshua, to your point, I think there is a case that's ongoing right now because the HR department used GPT in something or some kind of AI system in something, and one of the employees was able to get a listing of all the payroll for all the employees in the company.
I've had that conversation. Yeah, so it's a real one. Yeah, that's one for another webinar. You know, if we would focus on the true risk and governance of AI, and some things that are assumed that you can't really assume, like to Josh's point, trust and verify. Like most people would trust Microsoft Copilot because it's inside their Office 365 tenant and it's supposed to be isolated. But if you don't do the proper security for the Copilot settings, things can get exposed because it's pulling data from SharePoint, from OneDrive, from Teams. It's part of the ecosystem. Yep. So you have to be very careful. There's a lot of risk behind all the rewards that we see.
Yeah, and that leads me into our next webinar. It's going to be on the 26th, and I don't know what everybody else feels like. I'm thinking every last Thursday of the month we do a webinar, and maybe we'll get more into compliance and security, Jason, because I know you've got a lot to say there, and we didn't get too deep. I mean, we just barely scratched the surface on that. Yeah. So if and we'll gather some feedback from people and see if there's interest in that. Maybe we'll do on the 26th, we'll do AI in business, but more from a security/compliance perspective. And keep in mind, guys, this was just getting our feet wet, right? This is the easy stuff. Some of the complex workloads, I mean, like some of the workloads that we create, it takes a whole team of experts to create those kind of workloads. But this is something that you can just throw out right now and get instant return from. And that's why I wanted to show this, as especially to business decision makers, where you can start implementing things like this. Remember, if you're not doing it, your competitors probably are, and you don't want them to leave you in the dust. And that's why, like, we are heavy into AI. I think the next, in the near future, this is where it's going to be. If you don't start using these systems and integrating these systems into your workflows, you're going to be left behind, and it's going to be tough to catch up.
Yep, agreed.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We are on top of the hour. I appreciate it, everybody. Jason, Joshua, hopefully we can bring you in next month as well. And we'll get some feedback from all the people. And hopefully everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's great. Thank you for having us.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.